right, so we back at it. Next topic. Hopefully it's not the same one. I'll do that. Horror. Okay. Horror. Let's go. So I found the perfect. I'm a little chilly, so should be shivering a little bit. But I found the perfect horror movie that I could just mention real quick because I thought it's probably the first one because there's multiples of it, but the first one is probably like a top 10 horror movie of mine. You know what I'm saying? Um, it's not in the top five, but it's that 6 to 10, and that's Ginger Snaps. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even you normally wouldn't even expect it. You know what I'm saying? But the fact that I don't know, I'm biased though, obviously, because it's my list. But the fact that it deals with animatronics, and I really like animatronics to the point that I tried to learn how to do it to some extent, and still have a sizable interest in learning. You know what I'm saying? Animatronics. You know what I'm saying, in the future. So the animatronics mixed in with action and an actual good story. It's about two sisters. They're like goth sisters. I got some music in my headphones, but they're two goth sisters, and by chance one night they're driving and they hit a werewolf, and you know yeah, and then one of them gets no, actually before that happens, one of them gets bitten by a werewolf, and it's if I recall, they're like running away from the werewolf. One of the sisters gets bitten by a werewolf, you know what I'm saying, or scratched. And the cool thing is I always like the creature features. That's what I'm really big on when it comes to horror movies. I'm not particularly big on, you know, like gore. Like I'm not really big on gore, unless it's just like unless I'm watching like say I don't know, like it'd have to be like a really good story for me to be like, you know what I'm saying, dealing with the gore, but I like creature features. I like monsters, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think that's cool because it shows like a level of like not only just like, the scary aspect, but just like a level of skill, what I'm saying, that goes into that. So that's awesome. It'll always be awesome to me, the monsters and that's a big reason why I like um the scary aspect of horror that I like. I like the monsters. I like I'm all in. You know what I'm saying? I'm all in when it comes to monsters. Um, but not really big on gore. But, dude, Ginger Snaps is fantastic, man. Especially, you know, I would love to be talking to someone who's never seen Ginger Snaps, and then they see it and they're like, oh man, because it really it's scary, man. It's really a genuine, um, original story. It has werewolves on it, but it's a spin. It's a spin on it. And when I first watched it, I want to say I didn't even get to watch the whole thing. I seen like that last bit of it. You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy because if you see the last bit of a movie, um, it spoils it for you for one. Because I had to think about this. For two, it there's no context. There's no context to what you're seeing. So you're like, what's going on? You're gonna be confused no matter what. So, but that's the good thing about horror. You know what I'm saying? It it's meant to capture you the most in those last moments because it's like a big bang. So you just already just you know, it's not rocket science for horror. You know. But at the same time, I should say this too. Horror is the only genre I feel like where one horror movie can have funny, it can have sad, it can have happy, it can have crazy, anything else. It can have all those emotions, you know what I'm saying, just in a horror movie. I don't think a lot of other genres are able to quite do that on a consistent basis that horror is. But back to what I was originally talking. You get captured by the last couple minutes. I got captured by the last couple minutes of Ginger Snaps because it was just so visceral. Um, throughout the movie, and I'm spoiling it, but throughout the movie, and I don't feel bad about it. Throughout the movie, one of the girl that the sister that got bit by the werewolf slowly turns, and then at the end she's just completely just full blown werewolf. So she's trying to like her sister that's not a werewolf is like tasked with hunting her down because she's killing people like without remorse, like a killer werewolf, and it comes to a head at the end. And that's what I seen at that last 20 minutes. Yeah, that's what I seen that last 20 minutes. And it was just such a really great 20 last minutes of just good horror. Like, it had the shadows, the darkness, you had sounds in the background. You don't know what exactly it is. Could it be the creature moving around? Or could it just be loose objects falling on the floor? You don't know. You know what I'm saying? Um, and you're in that pocket, like, oh my God, I'm in the seat. It puts you in the seat of the protagonist. And when it comes to horror movies, man, that's like, it's the movie did its job if you can feel that and feel that sense of like, kind of around the corner, kind of antsy. It's scary and so that last bit of that movie was fantastic, man. All those elements, the climax really, what I'm saying, it was really good to the point where you're just like, man, what the hell happens in the rest of the movie? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, Ginger Snaps had that. The werewolves looked fantastic. The animatronic werewolves looked fantastic. And it was funny because uh, it took a while to actually see the whole movie because it always seemed like it played late at night. Obviously, because I was scared of pants off most people, but I always seen bits and pieces of it, and then finally I did see the whole movie, and I was like, this is the movie, yeah, you know, because I seen bits and pieces of it, so here and there. Put the story together, but then it paid off to watch the whole movie because then you see it in the entirety, and you're just you're like, yeah, that really was solid. Overall it was solid. I give that movie I said it was in my top 10 now. I give that movie like a 8 out of. I give that movie a 8 out of 10 for sure. That first one, the Ginger Snaps, yeah, it was a good one. Y'all should check that out. Look, you take out the trash and see this.